just while waiting, we just turn our phones off. You can close that. You can close it a bit more. A bit more. That's fine. Overall. Just watching a shrine being lit. It's the first spectacle.
Get rid of these later.
Yes. Okay, great. Thank you. Good. So now we've lit the shrine, it's only right that we salute it. So if you'd like to join me in, just orientate ourselves for the meditation and do it in call and response. Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Dhammaya.
Namo Dhammaya.
Namo Sanghaya.
Namo Sanghaya.
Namo Namah.
Namo Namah.
Om. Hum. Okay, good. So welcome everyone. My name's Diane Arthur. What we're going to do to start off is a lying down meditation, just to help us arrive and settle after our busy day. It's probably not anything like me, had a busy day. So before we even start working on our minds, we need to settle, decompress. So yeah, we can lie down just with our feet facing the wall and our head that way, just so well, that's fine actually, just whatever works best. But traditionally, don't point your feet towards your head. That's good, yeah, nice. Yeah, and just having a cushion underneath your head, so there's a bit of a gap between your head and your shoulders behind your neck. And and we can just, if we bend our knees, that just helps us. I don't know why, but it seems to work better. That's good, great. Alright, lovely. So we're just noticing our bodies on the ground, letting the ground take our weight. We just really try to let go, so we just imagine that we're melting into the ground from every pore. That our shoulders are rolling right back down into the ground. Releasing any gripping on the hands. And just coming into contact with sensations in the feet. Inhabiting our feet. The texture of the ground. The temperature. sense of the whole body calming down, decompressing. As we bring our attention to our pelvis and our sit bones, just tuning in to the gentle rocking of the pelvis with the breath, the subtle sensations forwards and backwards. Coming into contact with the belly. Often we hold tension here. Just try to imagine any tension releasing in the belly, looking for any effect. Noticing the breath in the belly. Aware of the back, tracing the spine, allowing it to rise and fall with each breath. And the shoulder blades widening and contracting. attention to our face, letting go of any particular expression, just being ourselves. Softening the eyes and the jaw. Tuning into the breath. Sense of letting go on the out breath. So that any remaining tension just melts away on the out breath. Let go. Filling the chest with awareness of the breath. With each in-breath, a sense of energy rising, particularly around the heart area. Now having a sense of the whole body breathing again. With this moment, this time. A few moments we'll be rolling over onto our left hand side. ready, rolling over onto the left hand side and just waiting there for a minute or so. And in the next move, we'll be moving to a seated posture where we'll just sit comfortably for a few minutes. I'll explain what we'll do in the meditation, and then we'll meditate. So when you're ready, moving to a seated posture. Lights on a bit more. Good. So yes, this evening everyone got with their needs and their cushions and everything yet? That's good. Yeah, so this evening we'll be doing the Metta Bhavana. Yeah, and the angle that we want to focus on, well, I was teaching at the West London Buddhist Centre last night, actually. You were there as well. And it's a similar theme. So there we were talking about how meditation, to get to where we want to in meditation, we often just think we have to, learn a particular technique, practice it a bit, and then we'll do it. But actually what we're saying is that meditation goes along with ethics, so our behaviour, how we act in the world, and wisdom, so how we think about things and how we view things as well. And particularly ethics, our behaviour can be really helpful in deepening our meditation. So if you want to get more absorbed, that's usually the area that we need to practice on. And that's just because, so you can act in the world, which has an effect on your mind. But actually, even meditation itself is an action, is a behaviour. Because in Buddhism, our actions are of mind, speech and body. So even having a thought that your neighbour's annoying and you want to kill them because they're making a loud noise, often we think that's harmless, but actually that's an action. So watch out. But I'm joking a bit, of course, because it's not like we're bad people if we have those sorts of thoughts, but that's where all of our actions start, if you see what I mean, in the mind. And even it's horrible things. Even the worst action in the world started with a thought. So our thoughts are powerful. And the reason why I'm saying this isn't to sort of moralise or anything. It's more to say that we can also use the power of our mind, power of our thoughts, to shape our meditation, to shape the atmosphere of our mind and our meditation. A bit like we would, if we're generous to someone at work, and that has a positive effect. It makes us feel good and happy. And we can do the same in meditation, in the Metta Bhavana. So because the Metta Bhavana is very, very skillful practice, because you're trying to move beyond self-clinging, self-interest, selfishness, worrying about ourselves, towards an ultimate connection with everyone, anyone. And Buddhism is radical in this sense, isn't it? Because it's even asking us to send well wishes to our enemy in the fourth stage as well, of course. So because in Buddhism there's no sides. We're not in opposition to anyone, even our enemy. Even someone that wants to destroy us, we would still try and at least wish them well, which sounds a bit mad in this day and age, doesn't it? But I really believe that at the bottom of my heart, that is actually the way to inner peace, to happiness, and the way to a better world, actually, if we can all practice that, because and it's not just naiveness either, that's how reality really is as well. In reality, enlightenment represented by the Buddha, we are all connected with each other. There isn't an opposing side, and it's not us versus them, or the bad guys and we're the good guys. It's just people, whoever they are, and beings. So what that means for us in the Metta Bhavana is, first of all, there's a few ways of looking at it. It's maybe 3 steps we have to take. So the first step is awareness. So first of all, just even clocking that we're in a hateful mental state or an aversive mental state, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. That's fantastic. So if you can clock that, say, I'll admit, there's a window into my own mind, that I've been critical of somebody else at the Buddhist centre. Shock horror. It does happen. It's a big centre. There's 30 people running it. We're all very passionate about, the Buddhist centre. And of course, sometimes I don't always agree with how my colleague or even other people on the council are doing something. So what do I do about that? If I'm not careful, I can spend all the day, even all day and night, criticising another person who's meant to be a friend and a Buddhist, and in the critique, it's always I'm right, they're wrong. If only they listened to me, then the whole Buddhist centre would be amazing, and everybody would come, and I'm right basically, and they just need to listen to me. And then I think deep down underneath that is a view, which is a wrong view, that if the Buddhist centre was perfect, then I'd be able to be relaxed and I'll be happy, because I wouldn't need to worry about anything. But of course, the Buddhist centre is never going to be perfect. It's just an organisation that's people coming in and out. It's never going to be perfect. So I can't rely on that for my own happiness. Otherwise, I'll never be happy. So you might be doing that as well, maybe with your jobs or your work or your home. Thinking, if only everybody washed up, then I'd be happy, or if only the house was kept in a clean state, or my partner did what they were meant to do, then I'd be happy. And often we spend most of our life, if you're not careful, in that sort of mental state, wishing that everybody else did things in the way we wanted them to do it, or that we're right. And of course, sometimes we are right, or they do need to wash up, or I am right in how the Buddhist centre should be run. But that's not the point. The point is, do I want to be stuck in that negative, aversive mental state about it the whole time? Or do I want to come into a more metaphor state, so that I'm absorbed, I know who I am, I'm real, and then maybe I can communicate from that place, about the issue that I need to communicate about, or, and that's much more likely to succeed anyway if I communicate from that place. Maybe we can get to a compromise. Maybe there's more happiness and connection to be done there if I can do that. Does that make sense? And a lot more chance of us of getting more absorbed in meditation and seeing the truth of how things really are for ourselves. Getting that perspective, that wisdom. If we can drop out of those stories that don't help us. Okay, so the first step is to just be aware. Are we in these aversive stories about how we think something should be, or that we're right or they're wrong, or etc. Okay, so be aware of that. And then all we do, this is the last bit now, all we do is, when we notice it, is we just bring metta to it, because if we're in an aversive state, there'll be some sort of pain, suffering, tension in the body. That's why we're in that state, because we think we're in pain and we're trying to problem solve the pain away, and usually blaming, in my case, the other people on the council for my pain, or my colleagues at work, my boss. I'm blaming them for my own suffering and pain, and I just need to bring metta, kindness, to myself, to that pain, to that suffering. So even now, you're just scanning the body. Is there any sort of emotional upheaval within us? Is there a tension? Is there a pain? Usually, if we're human, there is. There's also, of course, joy and pleasure within our experience. But in Buddhism, we're not trying to be optimistic. or pessimistic. We're trying to be realistic. Yeah, so it's trying to be just acknowledge there is pain and suffering within our experience. There's other things as well, but let's not ignore there is pain and suffering, and let's bring kindness to that, metta, love, an open heart to our heart experience. Just even the thought, may I be well, or an image bringing light, red light to our hearts and to our suffering, does a lot. It really moves us in the right direction. And then once we're a bit more absorbed, we can just really enjoy the fruits of being absorbed. And that's the final step, because that means, being stuck in the rumination and aversion and hatred is a very tight and tense and horrible state. And if we can drop that and come into metta and just really experience that, then that's a relief and a release and a more real. That's the state we want to be. It's a state of courage, realness, positive emotion, joy, bliss, peace can arise within us, concentration, absorption. So see if we can just dwell in that state. If we notice we're not in that state, don't beat yourself up. It's not because we can't do it or anything. It's just that's where we are at the moment. Come back to awareness, bring metta to it, and then when you are a bit more absorbed, just enjoy the fruits of being absorbed. Does that make sense? Yeah, great. But really just seeing if we can commit to stepping out of that rumination, those aversive thoughts, because they really will not work. They are not serving us and they're not serving anyone else. And there's some much deeper states of consciousness that we can move towards if we want to. Yeah, at our disposal. Okay, good, great. So let's give that a go. I'll remind us a little bit of what I just said in terms of practicality, but I'll mostly just ring bells so we can just experience it for ourselves. I forgot I'm being filmed, by the way, so hopefully nobody from the Buddhist Centre finds out. That's it. All right, good. So just closing our eyes, coming into contact with our heart centre. And just maybe taking a few deeper breaths. And just allowing ourselves to breathe naturally. Coming right up close to the heart centre, the seat of our emotions. Just allowing the breath to massage the heart centre. And just starting off with that sense of awareness. And if we notice any tension or turmoil, or even pleasure and joy, just see if we can bring metta to it. Wishing ourselves well. of metta is a true mind, a real mind. That's the mind we want. And it's a relief and a release to inhabit that. The metta bhavana. Keep seeing if you can bring metta to your experience as best you can. the enemy stage. Radiating out metta to all beings, from your heart to theirs. So now starting to relax any effort you're making, but continuing to sit still, just absorbing the fruits of the practice. Just sitting. Okay, very good. So, yeah, in the second half we'll explore how that was and see if we can take that a bit further. Yeah, see what we can do with metta and working with our mind in that way. But for now, let's have a tea break. And you're welcome to, as you know, there's a lot of people at the centre tonight. Buddhist Centre is the place to be, which is great. So you are welcome to stay in here and just relax in here if you want, or grab a cup of tea from upstairs, bring it down, as long as you bring it back as well. Yeah, that's fine as well. Or feel free to mingle upstairs with the crowds and the announcements. Up to you. Okay, and we'll start again about 8:35. Yeah. quieter. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, just for those of you that missed it, we were just saying that there's the immersion retreat coming up in March, which is 5 days, which is really good, anniversary. And then the spring retreat as well. So just have it on your radar, always thinking about what your next step is, how you're going to go deeper. There's just a few options there for you. Yeah. What we're going to do first is just a bit more meditation, just to get us back into that space. So other people might be coming in, but we can start setting ourselves up for that. Just closing our eyes, taking a few deeper breaths. Just feeling the weight of the body on the ground. Allowing the ground to take our weight. Gathering our awareness around the breath. Following the breath. starting to become more aware of the whole body, once again broadening out our awareness. So just coming out of the meditation and sitting comfortably. Good. So as I was saying in the first half, the key to becoming more absorbed and recognising what's going on is awareness. Is first of all an awareness that labels our experience, particularly if we're getting into aversion and ill will and stories about how we're right and they're wrong, and that can be a very painful state. And the first step to working with that is just to become aware that that's happening, and even label it with a label like aversion or hatred or rumination, even or that story about my boss. There's a labelling there. That we've been doing in the first half particularly as well. But sometimes it's quite good to just say out loud what's been happening, see if you can label it with another person there witnessing you. So we're going to do a pairs exercise where you turn towards your neighbour, exchange your names, and then the first person you can just start talking about what happened for you in your meditation. See if you can be as open as you can, but up to you what you share. But particularly, it's good to know whether when you're being honest, you can say, actually, I was in reactivity for a period of it, or this did happen, or I was craving something or aversive to something. Just saying it out loud really helps you reflect, and lo and behold, the other person is probably doing the same. So it's fine. It's not like anyone's judging anyone. And then once we've done that for a bit, we'll come back to the main group and see if there's any points that come up from there that we need to sort of work on for the final meditation, which will be in about 10 minutes or so, which will lead us up to the end of the class. But before we do that, let's just find out what's going on for us. So without much further ado, if you want to pair up to the person next to you, if you're here, and just exchange names, then one person just goes first, the other one just listens.
Maybe I don't.
Okay, 1 minute left, 1 minute left. Okay, very good. Very good. So there seems to be a lot of energy there. So that's good. lot to talk about, isn't it? What's going on in our minds. Yeah, and it is good just to be honest, isn't it? Just share what's happening and actually find out other people doing the same, really. So was there any questions that came up from that? Because it's quite a nuanced area, isn't it? So say somebody is harming us or a housemate is genuinely annoying. What do we do with that? Because Buddhism, we're not just trying to be nicey and be doormats either. But at the same time, Buddhism saying, look, at the end of the day, we're responsible for our own minds, and so in a sense, what it's saying is nobody else can actually annoy us. If we're annoyed, that's actually our own doing. And even though that sounds a bit unfair or something, actually that's fantastic, because it means actually we're in control of our own minds. We've got the power to have the mind that we want to have. That's what it really means. It's not that we're doormats or that it's unfair that they're getting away with this or that. It's more that actually we've got the power to have the mind that we want, because if we just blame other people, that's not going to help us or them. So that's the sort of teaching. It's quite that sort of teaching that really got me inspired into Buddhism in the first place. It's a famous teaching from the Dhammapada, the teachings of the Buddha, where it says, hatred can never pacify hatred in this world. It's only love that can. So in other words, if you add more hatred to the world, no matter what's happening, it'll only create more hatred. And of course we can see that. We don't have to look far to see that, do we, in the news. So again, it's a deep teaching. It's a profound, it's radical, it's difficult to comprehend actually sometimes, but that's the teaching I really believe is at the heart of Buddhism and our minds. Yeah, and as I say, it's a path to get there. It's a path of training actually to get to that mind. But yeah, anyway, so that's my sort of take on it. But does that resonate with people, or is there any questions that come from that, or you don't really agree with what I was just saying there? Maybe we'll come back to you in a sec, Brian. I'll just check from anyone else before we go to the team. Everyone agrees. Brilliant. Brian, did you have a question?
Well, the shut this down is not quite appropriate, but it's like sometimes I can accept everything and be unaffected by everything and have love.
Right.
And sometimes, a year later, I realised, I needed to take action there, and I didn't. Somehow being aware of everything enables you to put up with things, but not then from a sense of metta, then take an action. And I know it's really sort of kind of like, you get into these states and what sort of, how do you then say, okay, this is, you bring to mind, okay, what is the right action here?
Yeah.
So you can suddenly
That's
just
good,
leave things rather than say, hey, I need to take an action.
Sure, yeah, and that's right. And we're not trying to be passive to the world either, because actually a deep state of metta is a state full of courage and fearlessness, because there's positive emotion flowing, and there's no reactivity anymore, and there's nothing to be scared of, because you're so connected to everyone. There isn't, you just trust your intentions, and from that state often, in my experience, actions do arise. So you can't really help it if you're in a metaphor state and there is something going on between you and your housemate or whatever it is. It just comes out in the communication because you're in touch with what's real, what's really happening. So that's what's happening. So it does come out, and that's my experience living in community, Buddhist centre. A lot of the time I'm just avoiding actually saying anything, even though there's a conflict, because I don't really like conflict. But if I get into a deeper state, then I can actually say what's on my mind, not blaming them, not saying it's their fault, but just saying what's on my mind, and then they can say what's on their mind, and it does facilitate, deeper communication. And I think also, it's meditation, ethics, and wisdom is the path to enlightenment. So this is the ethics and the meditation, but also wisdom. Maybe you have to reflect what is the skillful action. We can talk to our friends about it, So so it's best not to beat ourselves up if we didn't take an action, but it's more that I think it's not that we're trying to be passive or bury our heads in the sand. Actually, coming tonight to meditate, you actually are taking an action that's going to help you and the world, even just by meditating now, and it's going to have consequences to facilitate your communication, your behaviour, your actions, by doing it. So that's why I'm saying it's a radical act coming to spend an evening here at the Buddhist Centre, away from many other people are just out of watching, doing other things, watching TV or whatever, which I also do sometimes, but I really feel this is much more valuable, and definitely what I need to be doing. There's much more potential in this, isn't there? Although the White Lotus is very good on there. The last series is quite Buddhist. That's if you're in a bit of downtime, you do that. But when I'm not doing that, coming at it from a Buddhist perspective, meditating is really good. Maybe to see, we'll do another meditation again. Maybe just seeing this meditation again. It's just because you're just trying to be really honest with yourself. So, is that rumination, is that causing me more suffering or not? Is that going to help? Can I get into contact with the pain around it? Again, bring metta to it, and just trying to trust the process, have faith that a deeper mental state is going to help in the end and is what we want. And you probably already have a sense of that just by, even I was just meditating then, 5 minutes ago, and I just felt like I'm in a different place now than at the start of the evening. I was thinking, I must buy that thing, online. I was looking the other day, and I really want that thing, and I'll go later on. I'll go and do it. Now I'm just thinking, I don't even need that thing. So it's amazing how just a bit of meditation gives you that wisdom and perspective, and it's just very enjoyable. So you'll have your own versions of that, I'm sure as well. Okay, good. Well, let's give ourselves a bit of time then, to inhabit those states. So we'll meditate again for about 25 minutes to end the session. So we leave in that deeper consciousness, state of consciousness. So just closing our eyes. And just dwelling in the atmosphere of value, of meaning, skillfulness. We're doing a good thing here. Even if there's distraction or we're in different states, what we're doing here is very, very skillful. And we can congratulate ourselves for putting in the effort. Grateful for ourselves and for others as well. Keeping the heart center open, so allowing it physically to open, the chest to rise. and committing to bringing metta to our experience as best we can. The metta bhavana. final stage, radiating out metta to all beings. Letting go, opening the heart. So now starting to relax any effort you're making, but continuing to sit still. Just absorbing the fruits of the practice. It's quite good when you come out of meditation just to sit with your eyes open for a minute or so, just to not rush into the next thing. So I'll just sit for a minute or so. Very good. So yeah, thank you very much for coming tonight. It's been great to see you again. Yeah, thank you for any donations that you give into the centre. It really does rely on all of us to give if we can. So thank you for that. And yeah, if it, it clearly is working for you. You've sat still for all that time, and I can feel the atmosphere reach some depth. So just really encourage you to keep going with your practice. Keep thinking about what's my next step, how can I take this further, so that you keep moving forward with it, because if not, the world will not encourage us to practice. So we need to keep encouraging ourselves to practice, and that's what we're here for as well, to support you in that. So hope you have a good week with your meditation, practicing every day if you can, and see you next week and let us know how you're getting on. Thanks very much. Have a safe journey home.
Thank you.
If you could help putting the mats and cushions away, that'd be great. The mats just go outside.